Hey kiddos, in today's activity we're going to draw a dog park. So grab your colored pencils and let's go. More specifically, you're going to need one big sheet of paper to cover your workstation and a smaller piece of paper to do your drawing. You're also going to need a pencil to do your drawing, as well as your markers and your colored pencils. So let's go. Great, so now we have our sheet of paper and our pencil. So the first thing we're going to do is start drawing the scape of our dog park. So first I'm going to take my pencil here and start outlining the shape of my road. So it's like a little road where people can walk their dogs. So it's not a perfectly straight road, so I made it a bit curly. Then I have the trunks of my trees on either side of the road and a little bit of fluffiness on top for the leaves. And then within the blank spots is where I'm going to make my dogs and some other little bushes and things. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my colored pencil. I think I'm going to make my road gray, or you can make it brown, kind of a light brown or a black. So I'm going to take my gray pencil here and just start lightly coloring it in. So you could also do, black and also really, really lightly color it in. But, if you have a gray one, that's even better. Perfect. Keep going. All up and around. I think my path is made out of concrete, so that's why, the gray works, or like gravel. Perfect. I'm just following the ruggedness of the trail here. And I'm using my fingers to help me kind of twist the piece of paper around. Great. Perfect. So just watch out for the borders. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a marker, so a dark gray one like this, and I'm just going to outline my little trail right here, just so it looks nice and crisp. So all the way up around every little hump and turn of the trail, and on the other side. Perfect. And then I'm also going to draw, I think, like a little line running right through the trail, because there's usually like two lanes. There's one lane going up and there's another lane going down for pedestrians and people that are biking and whatnot. Perfect. So now that we have our trail, we're going to start working, I guess, on the scape of the park. So I'm going to take my green colored pencil, so like a medium shade of green, sharpen it, because we're going to do quite a bit of coloring here. And just start really lightly coloring all throughout the park. Just make sure to stop, right along the borders of the trail. What we can also do is also color right on top of the sketch that we did for our tree, since we're going to go over him anyway with some darker colored pencil. Great. So just so you know, the colored pencil I'm using is an aquarelle. So basically it means I can take a few drops of water and it'll turn into paint. So I'm going to show you how that works afterwards. If you have regular colored pencils, no worries at all. Okay, great. So I'm just kind of lightly brushing through here. I just want there to be kind of a semblance of green, since, the focus point here is all the little dogs that we're going to draw. Great, so I'm going to take my brush here, dip it in a little bit of water, and just lightly brush right through the green that I just drew. So not too much water, just kind of lightly skimming through it. And what it's going to do is it's going to mix the colored pencil with the water to make paint. Perfect, look at that. So I'm going to do the same thing on my other side here, to make my park nice and green, like it's springtime. And the dogs definitely like to go out, especially in the springtime. I don't know if you have a dog park near your house, but I know that I do near mine, and it's just a social scene. It's crazy. All the dogs jumping on each other, the big ones playing with the small ones, the barking. Dogs definitely like to play, and sometimes not with dogs of their own size. Perfect. So just keep coloring through and watch out for the barrier of your trail. You can color a little bit slower right alongside the trail. And use your finger to keep the piece of paper nice and still. Back and forth. Doing a little tilt here. Almost done. So you can see on my other side there, it really starts to look like paint with the water that I added on. I'm going to grab my paintbrush, dip a little bit more water, and just start kind of washing through the water, through the paintbrush. Perfect. Right through. A little bit up top. Isn't that crazy how it can become paint? I just think that's so awesome. And it works really well for the grass like this, where you kind of want it to look fluffy and a little bit like watercolor. Perfect. Almost done with our grass. And then we're going to start creating the rest of the parts of our park. So then what we can do is start working on our trees. I'm going to grab like a brown colored pencil here to start on the bark. So it's nice and sharpened. So 2 straight lines down like this, and color it in to make our tree trunk. A really basic little trunk. Close them off at the end. Color in the white spots. Awesome. Then I'm going to choose a few different shades of green for my leaves. Some dark green, some light green, and a little bit of a lime green color. Great. Because trees are usually such a different kind of variety of colors as well. You know, sometimes you have trees that have flowers, trees without flowers, bigger leaves, smaller leaves. So my tree is like this really big kind of fluffy guy. So instead of doing the leaves individually, I'm just doing circles. Almost like a big cotton candy ball of leaves. Using my 3 different colors of green. So it's going to make it look really kind of fluffy and very, very leafy. And then my last shade of green. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to also make another tree on the other side of my road. There's definitely more than one tree in the park. So 2 brown lines for my tree trunk, closing it up to make a rectangle, and then I'm coloring it in. Coloring through the rectangle and then keeping within the lines here as best as I can. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make kind of the tree holder. And what that's going to do is it's going to kind of make sure that all of the tree roots are staying within a contained place. Because trees they're so big and they're standing up so straight that their roots are absolutely massive. They have these enormous roots that go all throughout the ground. So imagine all of the grass that we're seeing right here. Underneath, there's these enormous tree roots that are just kind of grabbing onto the soil. And what these little grids are going to do here is contain those and make sure that they're standing up nice and straight. So this way it looks really realistic. Big roots essentially are going to be, kept into place by these little grids here. So now I'm going to make the fluffy leaves of this tree. So big circles like this, like cotton candy, with several different kinds of colors. A few branches, and some more leaves. Perfect. Look at that, you can barely see the branches anymore. Okay. That tree looks pretty good. A little more. Okay, awesome. So now we're almost done with the actual park. I think we just need to add a little bush here to make it look as realistic as possible. So I'm just going to do one little swoop here, then another little swoop to outline it. Just kind of color him down with a dark green colored pencil. Another little swoop here. Color him down. So it could be one of those, it could either be two big leafy bushes or kind of one of those puffy bushes with tons of little leaves. Perfect. Okay, so now our park is done and we can start drawing our actual little puppies. Yay! So we're going to draw tons of little dogs. And the first dog we're going to draw, I'm going to use a light brown colored pencil. Kind of a medium brown, actually. So I'm going to make him right here on the bottom of the page, and his feet are actually going to sit up kind of very much on the ledge of our piece of paper. So we're going to start with a circle that we're going to color in, kind of like an oval circle. Just like that. I'm going to take, having a few brush strokes down to make almost a little doggy fringe. Then we're going to keep making them a little bit bigger till they connect to the very, very end of the paper. So this is the body. So you can make them a little bit wider. Two little circles at the bottom for the feet. And then we're going to just fill in the blanks here to make them look nice and full. So here I'm going to just do two little spikes, which are like his ears. I'm grabbing a slightly darker colored pencil to add in the details. Maybe this black one here. Or even a darker brown one. Great. Here I'm going to add two little circles for the eyes. A little nose and a mouth. I'm going to make his nose heart-shaped. Yay, our first little puppy is done. So I think this is like what we're going to call a fox terrier. So you see the ears are like straight out, which means that this fox terrier has amazing hearing. And that's usually what terriers do. Great. So now we're going to make our second little pup, which is going to be a bulldog. So I've grabbed my gray colored pencil here, and I'm going to make two little triangles for the ears and a swoop around for the head. You're going to see in just a second what the shape is. Two swoops down, over for the hind legs, a little tail, and then connect over through the back. So you can put the video on pause if you want to copy that shape for just a second. And now we're going to color him in. So I'm going to use my gray pencil here just to color all throughout the body. I'm keeping the face a little lighter. Look, it looks like this little bulldog is checking out our fox terrier. Like maybe they're going to sniff each other out. Are they going to be friends? Maybe they'll get in a fight. Who knows? Okay, perfect. So now we're going to add some of our detailing to our bulldog. So with our black colored pencil, we'll do two big circles for the eyes, some spots on his fur, and two tiny little dots for the eyes, a nose and a mouth. Look how funny he looks. I love this little guy. Okay, so time for our third dog, and I'm going to make a traditional French poodle. So I think pink will be a very appropriate color for our little French poodle. So he's going to be here on the other side of the street. So I'm going to do this long muzzle and this little head, just like that, which we're going to color in pink. You can make him another color as well if you want. If you're a boy and you don't want to make a pink poodle, you can do anything you want. And then I'm going to make kind of a curly little body, just like this, because it's such a curly little animal. You can barely get your fingers in there. You just have to kind of pet over those curls. Then I'm going to do two legs in the front and two in the back. So it's just like straight lines down with a little squiggle for the toes and a curly little tail. Then also we're going to do 2 curly ears that are pink. And now we can add some of the detailing for the face. 2 circles for the eyes, a little nose, and a mouth. And there's our poodle. Perfect. So we have 3 kind of funny little different dogs here. I think we can make one more. Great. So I'm going to make one right over there by that tree. We all know that dogs like to go pee by the trees. That's why they all seem to want to hang out there. So this one's going to be one of those sausage dogs. Going to make one of those long kind of heads, and the back is going to go all the way down and around, and a little tail over, and there's the shape of our sausage dog. 2 little front feet, 2 little back feet, kind of looks like a rocket ship. A little nose, an eye, and the shape of the ear. So remember, you guys, you can pause the video if you want to see the shape better. So I've done a little swoop for his ear, which I've colored in as well, which is kind of connected to his front foot. And then you can color him in all the way through. And I've made the ear a little bit darker so you can see it pop out. Perfect. And do a little bit of yellow to outline him, his belly, and his little feet. And that looks great. Add in a little bit of brown over here because we really want him to pop out against the walkway, which is also gray. Perfect. Great job, you guys. The dog park looks completely awesome. And we're going to add just one more thing. Let's grab our pencil. Perfect. And here we're going to add in just a teeny tiny little Pomeranian dog. So I don't know if you know what a Pomeranian looks like, but it's like this teeny little dog that you might see some of these women have in their purses. So it's a tiny little circle that I'm going to fill in with a tiny little tail. I'm going to fill him in. I couldn't leave out this small little dog. We really want all the different kinds of dogs to be represented here. 2 little front legs and 2 little back legs. Then we're going to take our black marker and add in a little eye and a little nose, 2 ears, drawing his little outline in a darker brown so we can see his body better. His smile, and there's our little Pomeranian dog. Awesome job, you guys. The dog park looks wicked. So kiddos, here's our dog park. I hope you had a great time making it today and drawing all of the crazy little dogs. I'd love to see what your drawing looks like, so feel free to send it to me at tutokid.com